One of the best things I ever did to get the emotions back into my mixes was to get something a lot of people call a glorified mouse. But the moment I plugged in a set of faders, the music and the mix felt alive. By using the faders as an instrument, I was able to recapture the emotion of the song. So naturally, the next step in my setup's evolution was to add a controller. And over the past year, I went down a really deep rabbit hole of exploring all the controller options out there to find the solution that would let me control virtually any plugin. After tons of research, I stumbled across a device from a little company in London. So I reached out to get my hands on one of these devices to test out, and it has completely changed my workflow from the moment I plugged it in. And the device is Rocksolid Audio's Micro 4K. Rocksolid Audio were gracious enough to send me a Micro 4K to test out, and I do get to keep the unit, but no money exchanged hands, and no one at Rocksolid Audio had any input in the making of this video, and no one at Rocksolid Audio will see this video prior to its upload. And in this video, I'm gonna go over all the features of this genius device, who it is and isn't for, and the one quality of this unit that blew me away, and in my opinion puts it miles ahead of the competition. Hey Ali.
Afternoon, John.
Mind giving everyone a rundown of the Micro 4K?
Absolutely. Downloading schematics now.
Awesome.
Download complete. Shall I begin?
Yep. Cue the montage.
The Micro 4K is a customizable plug-in controller that offers the familiar feeling and control experience that you would find with an $80,000 console. It is equipped with 20 dual-functioning momentary push-switch encoders, allowing you more robust customization and control. Additionally, you'll find 6 momentary controls fully customizable. No power supply is needed for the Micro 4K, as the Micro 4K is bus-powered via the USB-C connectivity that is backwards compatible with USB 2. I have completed the schematics overview. Will that be all for now?
Yep, thanks Ali. So with all the great options out on the market, what was it about the Micro 4K that got my attention? First was the size. This thing is 4.4 inches wide, 7.5 inches long, and 2 inches tall. It's a small footprint that takes up little space on a desk and can fit in your backpack if you're traveling with it on the road. A couple of little gripes that I do have with the unit, if you can even call them that, is that I do wish that it came with like a cloth carrying case, or there was a hard case on the website that you can purchase. And also when you receive the unit, you get this 12-inch USB cord, which isn't really practical, so I ended up having to get some longer USB cables from Amazon. Alright, so how easy is the setup? I only use mouse mode, so that's all I'm going to talk about in this video, but MIDI mode basically lets you use the Micro 4K like any other MIDI controller. Getting a profile mapped is going to be pretty easy once you've installed the RA Control software. When RA Control is loaded into your computer screen, click on the RA Control icon, select mouse mode, a new window pops up, which is the RA Control panel. Create a folder name and then a new preset name. It will then prompt you to click and hold the plugin window you're going to be mapping out. Once you've done this, hit save. Before going any further though, at the bottom right of the window, you'll see global controls. I personally found it much easier to have these set up before you go any further. Otherwise, you have to manually add these functions to each parameter when mapping out. So at the top of these modifiers are 2 sliders for how slow or fast the control of the rotary controls will respond, as well as 3 different types of curves. I personally bring all fast down to 1 and leave the curves portion alone. All encoders get set to scroll version 2, which is going to give you a more analog control feel. All buttons I like to personally keep on single click. Find key I like to have set to the command key, and I leave the find amount at 30%, then hit save again. One thing to note when you use the global controls is when you go to create a new preset in the same session, you'll see global controls all have the function names still there, but the controls are all unassigned and you'll have to reselect the functions and they'll globally assign within the preset once again. Now to the left of each function are the assignable controls. At the upper left hand side of the RA control panel, you have the rotary encoders, and at the bottom left side are the buttons. To assign, just go to status, click, follow the prompts on screen telling you to click and hold the parameter you want to assign, and bam, you're done. Just repeat that until you've mapped everything to your liking. And if you want to do a mapping, just go to status, right click, reset, and remap. Now, even if you have globally assigned functions to each control, you can still go into each control and modify each one's function. So that leads to the question you're probably asking yourself. If you have more than one plugin mapped to the Micro 4K, how do you jump between plugins? And it's actually pretty sick. Once you have the plugin profiles mapped, you can easily switch between plugins, and the RA Control software works in the background to know which plugin is on screen, and the Micro 4K will work if those profiles have been created. So earlier I mentioned one thing that gives the Micro 4K and Rocksolid Audio in general the edge over other competitors in the space, which is something that when you get a device like this is really helpful. I've personally never experienced such amazing customer support with any other device as I have with Rock Solid Audio. Every dumb question I could think of was replied to quickly and enthusiastically. But because it's a smaller company, Rock Solid Audio welcomed feedback from users. They simply want to know how they can improve future iterations of the Micro 4K line and the RA control software. So who is this for and who isn't this for? If you're an audio dork like me that likes to take gear with you on a session, likes the idea of a fully customizable MIDI controller that lets you connect with the session in a more musical way that doesn't tie you down to having to use any particular company's plugins, the Micro 4K might be an excellent fit for you. If you're someone that doesn't like any of that and wants a more plug-and-play streamlined approach, you might not find yourself so stoked on the customizable control the Micro 4K offers an engineer. And as great as tools like the Micro 4K controller or a set of faders are, it's all about emotions and bringing those out in a mix. And the pros have some genius ways they're able to inject those emotions back into their mixes, which is why you'll want to check out this video right here for some incredible insights that will give your music an emotionally captivating edge just like the pro mixes you love.